Hello my dear Capricorn, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between February 16 and February 28, 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I have put astrological information for the month of February in a video of its own that you can check out in my playlist Q&A. You can also find it at my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se, where you can also find and buy all the decks I'm using in this video. For this reading, I used the Tarot of the Hidden Realm by Barbara Moore and illustrated by Julia Jeffrey, and I will start shuffling your cards. So Capricorn, when I open your deck here, oh, I see Death and the Moon. That's serious, okay? Death number 13, Moon number 18. This is connected to the Emperor, but also to the Fool, New Beginnings. And this is connected to the Hermit stage. So it seems like you go through a rather serious spiritual transformation. And these are times that we usually feel very alone, the worst time ever, and we can't really feel that anyone is there for us. So usually we need to go through the dark night of the soul totally alone, because it's our strength that is to be tested, not our partners or our friends or our family's strength, but also who is there for you in this storm is also something to take notice of, even though they can't carry the load for you, okay? So death is something that's needed to be sacrificed, and both cards are talking about facing your fears, facing the pain inside of you. It really needs to be transformed, digested, before you can move to the next level. So it's like when you have stomach ache and maybe you need to lie in this position in bed and head down. So the digestion system will be pushed a little bit or warmed up a little bit so it can do its job. And it's the same with mental pain or emotional, like the pain of your emotional body or your past life. The Moon card is connected to also to past life, and probably the different way which you have died there. So you might have a lot of physical pain that's not have any like real explanation. So just stay with whatever pain is there, and don't be like upset. You can panic all you want, but your I in the I am shouldn't be upset. Okay, you just have to stay with it, digest all these ancient deaths of you, and all the fears that you have brought into this lifetime. So it's actually a heroic assignment that you have got. You shouldn't be afraid. You should go through this like a hero and just stay with it and let whatever happens happens. If tear happens, that's fine. If screams and cries happens, that's also fine. If you get dim light before your eyes, that's also fine. Everything is fine. Just stay with it. But if you get real serious symptoms, of course you should call a physician or even the ambulance, because sometimes a panic attack can of course transform to something else, and you should always take your symptoms serious. But what I'm seeing here, even if it's going to be manifested as a physical illness, it's going to be good for you. It's hard to imagine, but it's trial by fire. It's like your DNA is changing. You are digesting old stuff and kind of getting rid of them eventually, but that's not the goal for you right now. The goal for you right now is to stay with it and not get rid of it, but actually stay with it so it can be digested, so later on you can melt it. And it's like everything, even darkness like this, if you put your attention to it, everything that's exposed to light will become light. Okay, so this is what you're doing. You're transforming your shadows and your darkness from old times, and also from different traumas that you have been through. And you're kind of like a black hole here in time, and your magnetic field is like this beautiful apple that's digesting all this old and shooting out light in one end, pulling in darkness, shooting out light. So this is what's going on with you, and it's very, very beautiful from an energetic point of view. But it's harsh. It will feel like you're dying sometimes. Okay, so but it's just frequencies and vibration. You're not going to die. And even if you do, you did, like people pass all the time. I'm not thinking that you will die here, but even if you did, it's okay too, because we are not immortals here on earth. Our spirit is immortal, but you aren't. So you will pass eventually on to the next level of the next dimension, or the next level of existence. So whatever happens is fine. Try to stay with it. Don't mind what happens. Go with the flow. Stay with the... This is an adventure also, because no one will know what's behind this door. So it's amazing things. Be brave. Be the hero in this story. So I call the divine with love and light. And here you see the Hierophant. So the Hierophant, it's like the Buddha. So you need to be like the Buddha now. You need to just sit whatever you are experiencing, and experiencing it even more. The Hierophant, it's like first in our tribes it was shamans, and later on it became priests, and now it might be our scientists. But whoever they are, they have been storing up knowledge to the human society for all the time that we have been existing with awakened mind. So it's like a library of knowledge, and now you experience more thing to be put to this library of knowledge. And you might also start to experience like old things that you knew in past lives. So this is what's behind this door number 1318. It's all your old knowledge and experience, so it's a good thing. But don't try to hold on to old things like your old name, your old titles, your old personality. Much of this will be stripped away, so it's not any good use for you to hold on to something that's not going to be there tomorrow. So I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and here we have the 10 of Cups. So this is, it's healing that's going on with you. It's nothing short of healing. This is going to be great. It's going to leave you with amazing things eventually, if you're brave enough to go through this doorway and face your fears and nightmares head on, and, you know, let go of whatever needs to be let go of, even if it feels like you are dying for leaving these things behind, because you have held on to it so harshly, like the last timber from a capsizing boat. So this might be your relationship, your work, or a friendship situation, whatever it is that hasn't really been working for you, but wants to work. Okay, so if you let it go, if you sacrifice whatever doesn't work now, if it's yours, it will boomerang back to you in a much more beautiful shape and form. So I call the 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, justice, spirit, and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Capricorn viewers. Here you have an emperor as well, so connected to death. You also have justice. It's connected to number 2, judgment, and high priestess, also knowledge. So it seems like you might be a big leader for your circuit of people in some way, but this either it has come out like ego for you, or you have been not acting in your strength. It might be either or. Either you have been like trying to compensate for a bad self-esteem with having a big ego, or either you haven't tried at all and you have stayed very small. And this is the moment in time where you need to grow up and be big. You need to be adult. You need to be the bigger person. If you have someone to say I'm sorry to, you need to say it. And if you have situations where you have the not being authentic or trying to be something that you're not, it's time to start to become authentic. Justice is truth. Truth shall set you free. And you also had the Emperor, and that's the great leader that will come out of this situation when you excel the hero's role. So I want a clear view reading for my dear Capricorn viewers. And I want my dear Capricorn to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success. Ten of Cups seems to be important. What did I thought about when I was thinking about something about your relationships, and that you might be in flawed relationships, or people that's very not cooperating with you, okay? And the Ten of Cups wants to tell you that if you let it go, and kind of love yourself for real, not in the ego kind of way, but for real, love everything about you, don't hide anything anymore, you will find the love that's yours. If you try to act like someone else than you are, your soulmate won't be able to find you. So that was merely what I was thinking about. So I want you to have love in your life and find yourself. This is the Empress, the one, in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny, Capricorn. Yes, it's ready. Okay, so I will just tune in for a few seconds. And to you, my dear Capricorn, see what's going on with you. Okay. Okay, so my dear Capricorn, this is your future. There. This is your now. There. And this is your past, and we have a King of Swords here. So it might be that you have been dealing with a swords person, an air person in the past, or you yourself have been like this. I will describe this person for you so you can recognize with your own intuition who this is. The King of Swords is a person that's look at things from an above level. They really don't want to dip their toes in feelings, so they're trying to see the very logical point of view, and they're trying to see whatever counter action will come out of their own actions or other people's actions. So they are like the scientists too, but the kind of scientists that might look down on other people and thinking that they are not doing the work properly. And we might be often in this situation when the actual situation is like this. Other people are not doing the work properly. They are not working together with us. And the King of Swords then see the truth and cuts himself out of that situation. The King of Swords can also be a little bit flawed and not have his heart open, and he's very cold, and he's more attached to maybe mind things like a worldly title, or his appearance, or what other people thinks of him. I'm saying him since it's a king, but it might as easily be a she, okay? So the King of Swords is a person that have a very quick mind and is a very good judge, but he might have hard time with the emotional sphere of things. So he might not be the best lover, for example, too cold, too detached, doesn't really know how it is to be a human in a human body with a beating heart. I believe the swords persons coming from a big tribe of angels that were cast down here like warriors. So they have kind of done a number of the inhabitants on earth for a long time, just to get to know how it is to have a heart, and to not always be just in mind and in this mind dimension. So the King of Swords has a lot to learn here on earth, but you also have a lot to learn from him. You can learn how to put boundaries, how to see your situation very clear and take necessary precautions to avoid disaster, for example. King of Swords can be a little bit scared, therefore he's always with this weapon, because he needs to be able to defend himself and cut people out. So he might not be the most resilient king of them all, but he's sharp, okay, very sharp-minded. So this is in your past, and here you have the now, and here you have a 9 of Cups. So 9 of Cups usually comes when there's an important relationship that's yours, and even if it's troubled, it's still yours. It comes with bearing gifts. And this is also the state of it's a wish card. So when you have this energy, you can start to make the wishes for the future, like an architect. You're dreaming your future forward with your very sharp mind, and then here's the dream, and then you start putting some action into it to really get what you want. Okay, so it means not thinking about bad things about the future. Well, you probably will anyway. Mind is very persistent in humans right now. It's a stage we are going to pass over it, but for right now it can be very hard to stop your thinking. But you can stop your thinking by staying in your body and trying to find out its needs, because the 9 of Cups is also about fulfilling one's needs. And with the King of Swords and the 9 of Cups together, it can be a person that's only in this to fulfill their own needs, like a very smug person that thinks that they are, like the world is circling around them. So watch out for that also. And it can go for Capricorn being like this as well. If you're a cross watcher, judge for yourself who's who here. This is the future, so it's 6 of Swords. So 6 of Swords is it's kind of digesting what you have been through, and putting everything in its right place, like a big puzzle. But it's also the connection that the air does with the water, like what the head does with the heart. So with the 6 of Swords, it's like the scientific rose of love is developing in your heart region. So you're starting to realize what's making your heart tick, what's making you feel good about yourself and life, what's making you happy, what's making you fall in love, or who. So the 6 of Swords is a card of realization, and sometimes you realize that your relationships are crappy and you move on, and sometimes you realize that you have done everything wrong and you need to correct those wrongs into right, like with the Justice card, and maybe tell, okay, I wasn't really awake before because my heart was slumbering and I didn't realize how much you meant to me. So that might be one thing. There's a lot of things with the 6 of Swords, but it's connected to the Lover's card, number 6. Okay, so for my dear Capricorn, this is your past. And here we have a Knight of Pentacles, so that's probably you. It's usually Taurus. It might be a Virgo person as well, or another Capricorn. So the Knight of Pentacles, they have this dream. They have this dream, but as the King of Swords, they're a little bit cautious. When you see this Knight of Pentacles, it's usually like everything is slowing down because this Knight, he's just figuring out if this is a good place to start to plant his seeds. Okay, is this really the one? Is this really the work I want to be with? Is this really the life I want to live? Is this really? So he's not too much up in his head, but it's like his body is feeling when it's time to really put the seed to the ground. So he's having the seed, he has the plan, but he's the one that needs to put the work into it and get some action. And sometimes he's very reluctant to do that because he, like the King of Swords, is very scared of the future. So he might stay and watch and figure out, and he's a nature person as well, so might watch the surrounding and see if this is a good place to set my camp for the rest of my life. So this is a person that could be wondering or dreaming about a commitment or a career or whatever, but he wants the very best. He wants something. He's a knight, so knights always wants the best of the best. They are young, so they haven't really realized that sometimes you need to settle and you need to also be happy with what you have. This person can't really do that, so he can be very ambivalent with where to put his seed, like with whom and with what and so on. But when he actually does this, he has a lot of stamina to go the whole way, and he's very loyal eventually. Okay, So the next card here is a Queen of Wands. So some of you might be dealing with an Aries person, or Sagittarius, or Leo. They are the quite opposite. So this is a person that wants things to go like, it's need to go fast. If you fall in love with someone, you don't care if they are not like exactly the one. You just go enjoy the ride and you do the best you can. And the Queen of Wands, she believes in her own ability to take whatever crap there is, like a crappy job, crappy husband, whatever, and make them into a dream, because she trusts her own ability. She's not afraid. She's not afraid of the future. She has a little bit more like the fool's energy in her, but it's coming from a lot of experience, like from a lot of lifetimes. She has been on earth forever. Okay, so she knows things. She's not afraid. She's not afraid to get her heart broken, or to fail, or whatever. Of course, she's a little bit afraid of that, but the fear is not as big as her positive, creative force that she wants to put in, and her self-belief. Like, she's the things where the world is circling around. She's the sun, kind of. So these two together might be a disaster, because this person is probably going to be overwhelmed with the Queen of Wands, wants to drag this person into like 3000 and this person wants to stay in, yes, 1800 something. Okay, so he's still with the horse and carriage, and she might enjoy like the horse and carriage. She's so passionate, but really she's in the spaceship, being all somewhere in the future. So they're not really compatible, but they have a lot to learn from each other. They can both learn this, to see things from an above perspective, and see the truth about things. So, and the truth will be communicated as well. The Knight of Pentacles would say, well, I'm very into you, but I'm not really sure that you are the one. Okay, and the Queen of Wands would say, well, that's my cue. And she will be gone. And this is what probably Capricorn, or whomever this is, don't want this to happen. So they might try to woo the Queen of Wands and make her stay, like stringing her along, to not make her, because she has an exquisite self-respect. So she wouldn't stay in a situation where she's not wanted or not treated like the central sun. And she might be very puzzled. Why is this person not treating me like I'm the central sun? What's wrong with them? So, and here you have a Four of Swords. So Four of Swords it's silent treatment usually. It's like, if we don't say anything, there won't be any conflict. But it's also connected to the Death card that you saw before. 13, 1 + 3 is 4. It's also connected to the Emperor. So it's a little bit like the Six of Swords, digesting things. But it's like digesting things for eons. So I'm thinking someone is like stringing a Queen of Wands along. It's what I'm seeing. Someone is trying to playing it cool and being mysterious, while they're really trying to figure out what to do with this Queen of Wands in their life. They're stringing her along, but they are not really giving her any promises about the future, or telling anything about themselves, really. So it can be like a really secretive person that doesn't want to have conflict, doesn't want to bring like what's underneath the surface up to the surface, because then action will happen. And the King of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles doesn't want action to happen. They want to be in control. They also want to control the Queen of Wands, so they don't want her to know what's really going on. Okay, so it's almost starting to look like a situation where the Queen of Wands is being used for someone's really bad intentions. Okay, bad intentions, because if you don't know that you love a person or want to be with them for the rest of your life, or you should let them know, because they need to they need to be free to live their own life like fully. But it can be often like this. We are afraid to, we might say to ourselves that we are very afraid to hurt the other person's feelings. We don't want them to go and kill themselves because we are breaking up with them, or because we are saying, well, I'm not that in love with you. and I don't know what kind of future I want with you. Maybe I want something casual. Maybe I don't want to be together with you. Maybe I want to see if something better comes along. So this would probably be the truth in this situation. But instead, there's no communication. And therefore, the Queen of Wands might be stuck with a person that she loves a lot. It might be you, Capricorn, that's the Queen of Wands here. You need to judge for yourself who's who here. And you're stuck in a situation which are very intriguing, because the person is very mysterious and you're wondering, this is an enigma, and you want to solve it, and you want to... Queen of Wands like to fix broken things, so she might feel that this person is a broken toy that she could fix. She could make this person happy, and she don't know that this person doesn't care at all for her happiness. Yes, he's afraid to hurt her, but it's just because the consequences that might come to him. And I'm saying him and her because it's him and her in this pictures, but it might as easily be the other way around. Okay. So intriguing story. And underneath the Knight of Pentacles we had a Page of Wands. So I think this Knight of Pentacles is looking around and playing the field and trying to see if something better will come along. He's already having a Queen of Wands, but he's looking for more. Page of Wands, they want the adventure, they want to have a social life, they want to live their life fully. But also the Page of Wands is kind of a tricking things from your soul, because it wants to drag you along a road which will teach you something. And in this case it seems to be rigged to teach someone how to value something for real, because this one person is playing around with another person's feelings. And what we're seeing here is that the soul wants this to happen for some reason, probably so they can be smacked around by the Queen of Wands in a later stage, and never see anything about her behind ever again in their lifetime, and maybe have to miss her for the rest of their life. So if you know that you are taking someone for granted in your life, you should really ask for a time out from that person and say, I need to figure things out. And then you see, if you miss this person to death, they are probably like your person. And if you go about your life like nothing happened, you need to break up with this person and not string them along anymore. Okay, so that is to avoid this difficult life lesson where you might be ending up searching the field just to find out that what you searched for was yours all along, and now you have missed it. You have wasted it. Okay, so. And here we have a Knight of Cups, so it comes underneath the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands seems to be in love. Okay, she wants to offer love to this situation. And these two cards together is rather good. It shows that this could be like easily a spark being ignited between these two persons. But we need to be a little bit careful in this situation, because one wants play, the other one has the love here, the relationship, as their holy grail, seeing it as this life mission to help and nurture this person into perfect health again, because they are so strange. They're acting so strange. Some days they really are into me, and some days they don't care about me. And those days they don't care about you is when they are out playing the field and trying to figure out if you are the one or not. Okay, and here we have an Ace of Wands. So it's almost like we have Ace of Wands on both sides of this Knight of Cups. So I think forward movement is going to happen, either you like it or not. So either this Queen of Wands is going to get tired of the Four of Swords like this. It's like a stale between two people or two warring tribes. Nothing is happening. She don't like this. She can stay in this forever. It's not in her nature. And also, if she thinks that she can't fix the broken toy, she will move on to the next project. So it seems like there's a short glimpse of time here like this, and then the moment will be gone. Okay, you have a chance here. It's just here in the second part of February, it will be there, and the next second it will be gone. So be very careful for what you start out now. Don't start a fire you can't put out in a later state and your world is burning. Well, it will be trial by fire for you, but it's easier way to learn this lesson by respecting other people, or if you are the Queen of Wands, you don't have so much to learn from this situation more than to turn towards people that actually do respect you and do see you as the central sun for all the gifts you can bear to. Because the Queen of Wands is very warm. She's a passionate lover. She's compassionate, and she's a good problem solver. She's a good creator. She creates money, abundance, love. So whoever is like available to be with her and have her as the one is a really lucky bastard. Okay. So try to grasp this situation, and if you are the Queen of Wands, look very carefully who you are giving your time to. They might not be broken at all. They might be playing the field while you are thinking they are in hermit stage in their home. They might be out dating someone. Okay, so you need to know this. And here's the Nine of Cups. So it's saying that this could be the one. This is the chance of a lifetime. It might be that you have lived together in other lifetimes. You lost each other, and now you have this, this moment in time when you can fix everything that were broken. But it's really not up to the Queen of Wands. She has already made the bed and filled the platter with all you can eat and all these things. It's really up to this more playing the field kind of person. Okay, they need to realize what they have in their hands before it's too late. Okay, and it will be too late very soon. Okay, so here is your future, my dear Capricorn. And here you have a Three of Swords. So it seems like the Knight of Pentacles with the King of Swords energy is set up for heartbreak, mainly because they have dug a pit for other person. Okay, they have dug a pit for someone else, and in Sweden we say if you dug a pit for someone else, it's likely that you yourself will fall into that pit. Okay, so Four of Swords, trying to keep like this valuable goods for an extended period of time, and just trying to keep the status quo here is going to leave this person into heartbreak. Okay, Three of Swords, heartbreak. So, and if there's more than 3 people, it's more than 2 people in this love relationship, it's also going to end in heartbreak for the person that played the field. And so this is where justice comes in. This is where death came in. This is where the moon comes in. A person needs to take the downfall for their unjust actions. They have tried to just have a happy life. They try to see things from an above perspective, and really, they didn't want to waste their life with someone that they really didn't love enough. But they were very selfish in this, because they didn't realize that they actually wasted the time of this person that they really didn't love anyway. Okay, so they wasted their time, and for that they will pay with the Three of Swords. They will have their heart broken, not the Queen of Wands. That's where the victim in all this. Okay, and for some of you, of course it will be a fire person that's doing this towards the poor Capricorn. So you know that this can be the other way around as well. It can be many different variation. Imagine that there are like 7 billion peoples in the world, and it's 12 star signs. So it's like 600 million or something like that people that's Capricorn. So it will be many different scenarios, but about the same story. And it's how the planets is, like this story is here now because it's igniting some energy that has been there for eons, and reawaken and reawaken and reawaken to people see the story from different angles. Sometimes Queen of Wands has often been this person, the cold one. She has been this a lot. But through the eons, being on Earth for many, many rounds, she has learned what heartbreak is. So she knows how to value love. But these other people haven't been this for such a long time, maybe especially not the King of Swords. So he doesn't know. He just doesn't know. So he needs to go through death and moon and justice and all these other hard doorways of pain and hurt and sorrow and loss before he will know what's worth something. Okay. So the next card here is Queen of Wands. Underneath Queen of Wands and Knight of Cups is Four of Cups. So Four of Cups is a situation where you just stay with your pain, and it's again this card of digestion. It's this card of staying with whatever is, and it's like in this case it's like accepting the truth of a situation emotionally and just staying with whatever comes inside of you in this situation. If you have been with a person that just stringed you along, played the field, wasn't really sincere, never wanted to commit, you just stay with this. Be with the emotion of it and digest it. Don't let it get stuck in your system. Don't let it keep you in the past, because with the Four of Cups, it's a very big danger that this person will be kept in the past when it's really the Queen of Wands is a forward moving energy. So you need to you need to stay with whatever pain is there, but not letting it. Don't make a story out of it. Don't make a sad story that, oh, how could she or he do this to me? No, it's not personal. It's about them and their conscious level. It's not about you. If you love perfectly and you're warm and you're generous, well, you have a lot of life experience from a lot of lifetimes. You will do good. You have already been through a lot of your karma. Things will work out just fine for you. Don't take this personal, and don't get stuck in the past because of your loyalty. Don't stay in a bad situation just to wait whatever will happen. Digest the pain from this situation, and then later on you will have to move on. Okay. Yes, fortune fairy, that's the wheel of fortune. So it seems like a very stuck up situation will start turning their wheel for the person that has been kind of a little bit victimized in this situation, because they were held in the dark about things. They were thinking that the situation were in one way, but it really were in another way, because one person were lying or were being non-authentic or keeping away certain information, like they were in a war between two warring tribes instead of being in love. When you are in love, you are authentic. You tell your partner exactly what's going on with you. And real lovers, they want their partner to be happy even if they are not happy with them. So that might be a thing the Queen of Wands can think about, that okay, so if he or she didn't really love me, it's better that we part and that they really find someone that they are into instead of wasting my time. So you can be gracious about this. And with the fortune fairy, there will come lucky things and you won't be stuck in this force anymore. Ace of Wands, fortune fairy, it's like you have fire in your behind. So it seems like the Queen of Wands is back in business, like her own true way of being. So it might be that you will cut someone loose here that you really love, okay, because you know that they are not that in love with you. You can see this with their actions, because look at your own actions, how you are treating a person that you're in love with. You are careful, you don't want to lose them. You are not standing them up or missing to call or whatever. You're doing all those things because you love this person, you want them to feel great, you want them to feel loved. And if a person doesn't do that for you, they are not in love with you. You need to cut your losses and walk away. There's marvelous, adventurous things waiting for you. And yes, and here we had the Six of Swords. So seeing the truth, your heart already knows. So now you need to know it too. So I will take a card for you from the Wisdom of Oracle Divination cards. Oh, see what's going on with Capricorn. Oh, put it there. Why? Yes, we can always ask why. In my younger days, maybe I said it to you, I said it to someone that got this card, like, for, yes, in first part of February or in January, that I had a whole collection. I had burnt my own CD with my whole collection of Why. It was in the early 2000, I think. The Why collection, I called it, with all these songs about why. And the easy solution was, of course, they were not that into me. So it's a book also. You can check it out. It's a movie even, I think. So, getting to the core of a situation. Freedom from a burden, cleaning house, sweeping away what is no longer needed. Ever feel so bogged down with emotional gunk that you can't think straight? I'm reading the wrong thing for you, but I think this is for you as well. Could you? It's clean up. Instead of 31, it's 21. Ever feel so bogged down with emotional gunk that you can't think straight? Could you be surrounded by physical clutter in your home, also too much work, overwhelmed? This is, of course, what we saw with the death card, that you need to make a clean sweep. And that's also what you need to do here in the future with the Four of Cups. Don't stay in the old. Don't stay in memories. Don't stay in a love relationship that ended, you know, in the 1800s. Okay, if they still doesn't want you, what's the use of spending more time? Let them be stuck with this karma instead of you. Okay, so move on. Don't wait for a lover. If you already have waited for them for thousands of years and they still doesn't get it, so don't wait anymore. Motives, driving intentions, the power of knowing the why. This is what's driving the Queen of Wands. That's why she's intrigued by this person from the first. She wants to understand what happened to them, what made them traumatized, what made them like this and this and that and that. There's a great power in understanding your motives right now. The oracles ask you to be very clear about why you're asking this question, looking for this answer, behaving in this way, and most important, making this choice. Knowing your why is the key to fulfillment. When you are clear about it, your intention will then be a magnet for miracles. Motives define the nature of your experience. When you think about something, feel it and then act on it. The invisible why is the life force energy within the seed, which bring it to life and holds the potential for growth. We then don't always know why we engage in our relationships in the way we do, mostly because our feelings aren't always logical. Now it's time to recognize whether you are being triggered by someone else or if your behavior is motivated by your unresolved issues in the past. When you ask yourself, why am I feeling like this and why did I say that? And spend some time in introspection, the answers may be surprising. Listen to the message from your intuition, from the knowing deep within you. What does it tell you about yourself and others? In the end, life is all about being loved. Miracles and a deep understanding of your needs and how to get them met are the buried treasures of the why. Uncover them by posing the most powerful question you can ask yourself and your partner today. Why? Yes, you really need to know the truth about behind the motives about yourself and your partner's motives, so you know if it's worth building on this relationship or not. Is it worth taking another lap, or does this end here? Okay. I will also take a card for you from Wild Kuan Yin Oracle cards. See what's going on. And one card, please, 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 please. Wild Kuan Yin, what's going on with my dear Capricorn? I know its card wants to come out, but it needs to fly. Yeah, okay. Not that many. Thank you. Yes, the one. Sisters of Sacred Spiral. Maybe you got this. Someone have gotten this a lot, I think. I will try to find the right card this time. Sisters of the Sacred Spiral. The preparation for manifestation requires faith. There can be much effort and even more patience and persistence required before we see proof of our efforts in desired results. as we grow closer towards what we want, whatever has blocked us from having that in our lives will arise to be dealt with and resolved. So this is super important for you, Capricorn, that you need to understand this, that the death and the moon and everything that comes is just because you have asked for something better, and then you need to go jump through those hoops of death and moon and justice and all these other things to get what you want. So you need to clean, like make a clean slate, pay off your karmic debts, and digest all your traumas that you have been through, so that you can be free to come on to the next level which you have asked for, because you want to have this next level love, next level career, next level whatever. So you may feel as though you are losing ground, regressing, or somehow going further back on your path than you have ever been, but you are not. You are becoming more able to live your dream. You are clearing out the issues that have prevented you from receiving what you want from our generous universe. So that was a very beautiful message for you. I think this was a lovely message for you overall. It's really showing that there's a lot of effort put into you and to your personal growth from not only you, but also from the divine. So take care of this, that all eyes are on you now, Capricorn, and do your best in this heroic moment, okay? So I welcome you back to my beginning of March reading that I will perform in the middle of February. And you're welcome to watch check in on my web page, www.queenofcupstarot.se. Okay, bye-bye.